everyone. Good evening. Good evening. How you all doing? Good evening. Good evening. Oh, I see you. Hiya, Rollins. Good evening, everybody. Igwe, I see you. Good evening. The Lord bless you. Welcome back to Navigate with FFA. It's an honor to have you all here today, and I'm so excited about this. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. It's going to be amazing. I mean, amazing. Thank you for showing up. So, we are getting ready for 2025 as we wrap up 2024. God has been good. If you ever lost anything in 2024, you know God is the reason you didn't lose everything. So we thank God. We thank God. And my guest tonight is a fantastic man. You're going to have a swell time. Please tell everybody, share the link, and let's have a fantastic time today. Welcome, everybody. And I'm beginning to say Merry Christmas in advance and a Happy New Year as we move on. In the name of Jesus. Thank you, everyone. I'm grateful from, let's see, where are you joining me from? I see different countries there. Thank you, everyone. Zambia, all of you. Anna. Ooh. Okay, somebody's talking about forgiveness a little bit before the guest joins. Forgiveness. The word forgiveness. Anyway, now we're going to treat that by God's grace next year, and I'm going to bring experts, young and old, to talk to us about it. Baruch, well done. I see all your work. We'll talk later. But forgiveness is important. When we tell you to forgive, it does not mean you should forget. That's the truth. You may never be able to forget. And sometimes you need to protect your heart. But you can't continue to live in unforgiveness and expect that your life will be fantastic, because forgiveness is not even about that person that offended you. It's about you. And like we've had several times over and over, that it's like taking poison and expecting another person to die. People will always offend you. That's the truth. But you make up your mind that, look, I'm going to forgive, and I'm going to be wise. I'm going to protect my heart. We can't talk about that enough tonight. Thank you, Malawi, Lagos, Nigeria. I say all of you, and God bless you in the name of Jesus. So, tonight I have my guest. Is all of them, they are my boss, so bosses actually. Yes. Amen. Oh, I appreciate that prayer. Thank you. I love all that you guys, you always wish me well. I'm grateful. Ooh, here comes one of my bosses. I told you. One of my bosses. Dr. Akin, how you doing? Good evening,
ma'am. Good evening, mommy.
I'm so excited about having you tonight, hosting you.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. How's your family doing, your wife and your children?
We are so good. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure you meant to say your boys, not your bosses.
Boss, BOSSES. Beginning with Pastor D. All of you are my bosses. So people are excited to see you here. They're already greeting you. Welcome, sir. Thank you, Baruch, Victor. We say that. So I took a break. Navigate is about, bringing people that are at the top or on their way to the top, interviewing them, telling them to please pull back the curtains to tell us how they got here. Have they ever failed before? Stuff like that. And I took a break because I had to combine school and travels and all that, And thank you, Akin. Thank you for coming over the weekend. That sacrifice will live with me till the Lord comes. Really, really
Thank
appreciate.
you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mom.
So please, it's an honor to host you tonight, and I'm going to just ask you to please tell us who is Akinpelu before he became the mighty man, the Forbes, the pastor, the husband, the father, before he began to succeed. Just give us the remotest past so we can learn and know that you didn't just drop, Thank you. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mommy. Good evening, everybody. It's such a privilege. I'm just excited that my mommy can invite me to be here to just share a little out of much that we have learned from her and the family. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Akinpelu, for those who are watching for the first time, and is it this question that Mommy asked? I'm really wondering if people are really ready for this night's conversation, because the first way I want to introduce myself is that I'm a man who has gone through hell, but I come out smelling like heaven. That's the best way I can explain the story of my life, the trajectory of my life, that I'm a man that went through hell and I came out smelling like heaven. So I'll give you a little context to that. Growing up, I met my father. My father was already averagely doing well as a person, but he gave me and he gave us an idea of what was before it became a bit okay and it became average in life. So he lost his mother when he was 4 years old, lost his father when he was 10 years old. And so none of his cousins could send him to school. So others went to school. He didn't go to school. So he had cousins who later became like vice chancellors in universities, but he went to learn printing work. So he came to Lagos when he was 13. One of his uncle sent him to Lagos, gave him 2 pence, and he came to Lagos and he started life. He saw vacancy on the road in a place, Joelegba, that says that they were looking for what you will call cleaners in an organization, and that was at Nigerian Breweries precisely. So he went in, he went in for the job, and it was a mighty one. He got the job. He was employed as a cleaner. Then 25 years after that time, he became the managing director of the same company where he was a cleaner. And that was massive. That was great. So we met him when he became a manager. That's when we were giving birth to, when he became a manager, he was a supervisor, became a manager, then later became a director. It would have been interesting if that was how the life ended, that, from grass, he ended up in grace. But he went back to what is less than a grass. My father came back from a training one day and he was told to resign under duress. And so when he was told to resign under duress, he had only built 2.5 houses, 2 completed, 1 half uncompleted one. And so his gratuity was 400,000 naira. A Peugeot 504 car could cost about 4,800 at that time. So he could buy 80 brand new cars. But everything my father invested into never worked. Every business never worked. He went into hoteling, it never worked. He went into FMCG, it never worked. Till we saw the entire 400,000, which was a huge money, we saw it become zero. So we had 6 cars in the garage. So we're six children. 2 children will share 1 car. So 6 of us will share 3 cars. My father will use 1, my mother will use 1, and we have 1 reserved in the garage there. So we had 2 Peugeot 504, 2 Peugeot 505, and 2 B2 cars. Then my mother was in Thomas Watt, the company where they used to make books at that time, called Apex Mill, as at that time. And so we saw 6 cars became 4 cars. We saw 4 cars, it became 3 cars. We saw 3 cars becoming 2 cars. We saw 2 cars. The 2 cars, my father will use 1, all the children will use 1, and my mother will be taken to the office and will be brought back. 2 cars became 1 car. And at the time it became 1 car, that was when my father was off work and he was not ready for retirement the time he was told to resign under duress. So 3 years down the line, it looked like my father never worked for 25 years. You cannot even smell it. It didn't look like it. So he said we should leave the city of Kaduna. We used to be in Banawa in Kaduna. Moved to Lagos. And he had a house in Lagos which he had built. We spent 1 year in Lagos. That was in 1991 precisely. I remember my father called a meeting of all of us and said to us that he cannot continue life in Lagos and it's difficult to even engage with everything, that he's going to his house that he built in Osun State and that we should all go with him. And then my mother said no. With the children, we said no. We said I would rather just hustle and do all we can in Lagos, than go back to the suburb where we are not sure of life. And my father made a statement to us that they said, from today henceforth, whatever become of your life is now in your hands, that I cannot do anything to help you people again. Ma, the first thing that dawned on us was that we had to hit the road to start hawking. We used to be very rich. We came from a home from average to being a bit rich, and we saw life, we saw opulence, we saw influence. Now it dawned on us that we needed to go and start hawking on the road. I remember we hit the road 1993 for the first time, April, and we were going to sell. Going to school was a big deal. There was no school that we could afford 100 naira for the PTA. There was a Baptist that just helped us and took 50 naira from us for all of us so that we can pay. It was a public school anyway, and for us to be part of the school, and they understood the situation. We hit on the road, we started selling. The first thing I sold, when I say I've been through hell, I come out smelling like heaven, is just because I have hawked 16 things on my head. I don't look like it. Anybody who met me in the past 10, 15 years can never know that part of my life. I hawked 16 solidly on my head. If you put tray on my head today, it will stay and it will never move, because I've gained mastery of the street life and what it means to hawk on the road. The first thing I sold more ice water. And I know that the people listening, they remember the Santana nylon where you pour water inside, you tie it together, and you put like 40 together, and I remember I hit on the road. Since we used to be in private school and poverty has not dawned on us yet, it was strange to be hawking. I was going on the road, I was speaking Boti English, buy water, buy water, buy. For 3 hours, nobody bought water from me. Then a friend I met on the street, his name is Ezike Ozulumba, he called me and said, nobody sells like this. He said, if I want to sell, I will shout, and these are the words I will speak. He said, I will say, cold ice water tuture, and I will shout out for people to hear. And it looked like magic. In 30 minutes, I began to shout in a Papa Wolf, cold ice water tuture, cold ice water tuture, and in 10 minutes, people began to call me. That's why I understood that, okay, there's something called the language of the Chaldeans. You can be in the middle of activity, and if you cannot speak the language, there can be productivity. So I sold that, and we're selling one for 50 kobo. We'll sell like 20 in a day or sell like 40 in a day. We'll make it. That's where we'll hit from. That's where we feed from. And sometimes you have to go to school first. You have to sell in the morning before you go to school, come back and continue selling. From ice water, I started selling the sachet water called pure water. That one could give us a better revenue. We can make ×2 of the money that we were making with ice water. Although we started looking down on those who were selling ice water because we thought we were now big boys. And you can see how arrogance inside poverty was really, really interesting. And from there, I moved on. I started selling drinks. Somebody took me to a woman who could give us drinks, soft drinks to sell. So I remember she would give me green sands, she would give me crush, she would give me tandigurana, and give me all of this Dr. Pepper product, and I will put on my head. I will go sell. I have moved from weak nylon to thick nylon. From thick nylon, I've moved to bottles. So that sounds like levels. Inside poverty, I was still moving forward, because there's nobody that will help you. One of the things I've told myself in life is there's nobody entitled to help me. I must help myself. Nobody owed me anything in this life. So I'm keep moving. I'm not waiting for any uncle, any auntie, or anybody anywhere. Because even as at that time, all the people my father sent to school and helped, all of them deserted us. So we had no family, we had nobody to help us, and we must learn to take our life into our hands. You cannot, in medical science, there's something called learned helplessness. When you outsource what you should do in your life to another person, and then you are looking at the person before you can make progress or make any form of movement, that's not so good for life. I remember one day I was in Nigerian Port Authority, and a man looked at me. He was just a team lead as at that time. This was 1996. He was a team lead. And the man said to me that, wow, how come you are hawking on the road? You speak so well, you dress well. I can't remember what I told him in 1996, but what I would have told him would have sounded like, life happened and I had to take my life in my hand. Maybe that's what I said. And the man felt so good and he's like, no, this kind of thing should not be happening to people like you. The man said, I will help you. I will help you. I was happy. I said to myself, is this how people's lives used to change? If Nathan Ebasi had sung a song then, and maybe the song I would have sung is See What the Lord Has Done, or say Jesus, yeah, because it was so thrilling for me, as it were. The man said I should come 10 a.m. for a meeting. I got to the meeting 7:30, 8 a.m. in the morning. There's no reason why I would be invited to a meeting for 10 a.m. and I will have reasons to not be there before time. Of what use was my destiny?
My God.
What would my destiny, if my destiny could help me at that time, and all I could be selling is ice water and pure water, and somebody wants to help me, I better. So I moved there. I got there 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. The man was not there. 10:30, 11:30, he was not there. The man came in 11:45. And he began to apologize to me and say, oh, he had something to do with his life. Man, you won't believe it. I stood up and I prostrated before the man. I said that I'm the one that has a problem. You gave all that to me so that you can be good. I was apologizing for what he was at fault for. You know, because he that is on the ground cannot be afraid of a fall. I was apologizing for that. And the man said, I like you. And the man said, follow me. I thought that, as we went on, the man stopped by a woman who was selling food. They were selling rice, beans, dodo, macaroni, spaghetti, and all kinds of food, you know. And then I asked myself, wow, this man is a good man. Who told this man that I am hungry, that I have not even eaten today? I said, no, this man is a good man. So I stood there. But it's just that the only thing that made me uncomfortable was that I was standing for 10 minutes and nobody was telling me to sit down. Then I began to hear conversations because I expected them to say, oh, sit down. What would you like to take? And they take my menu. They didn't tell me to sit down. I heard things like, oh, you don't come, you don't come. Na him be that, na him be that. He go sabi walk, he go sabi walk. This one why they see so, the man said he go sabi. I was like Isaac in the midst of Abraham and some of the servants. I could see the matchbox, I could see the wood, I can see every other thing for the sacrifice, so that the person to be used for the sacrifice is the one I did not understand. So Isaac had to ask. I knew at that time that what that man brought to me, he wanted to humiliate me. He brought me to become a maid and a seller to the woman who sells food. But again, I cannot argue and I cannot fight. He that is on the ground, not afraid of a fall. I'm already on the ground. There was no use of my destiny at that time. So I took it up. A lady called Uche came with a yellow Maggie Cube star cover up, put it on me, and said that these are my job description. I'll be washing plates, serving plates. I make sure all the monies are collected. And my wage was 10 naira. And I was told that if I do not bring in all the money, is going to be subtracted from my 10 naira daily wage. And that was how I went through. I can tell you the truth, I never got a 10 naira any day. There's always a problem every day. Is either I'm going with 5 naira or going with 6 naira. One day the police came to Nigerian Port Authority and they sent everybody selling away. I was excited. I said, at least myself and my employer, all of us, we are back to square one. And that was how we sent away. So we went back to our house in Surulere. We had to go rethink what's the next thing that we would do. I remember one day I came back from the school. I didn't have food to eat. I went to a woman in the next compound who is as poor as we are. But because they sell things that are necessary for, like food, they think they were better than us. And I said, what I asked for was just 2 naira. Give me Gary 2. It was 1 naira each. When my parents come, I will pay. So she didn't even know that I didn't have money. She said, how many Gary? I said, give me 2. She said, do I want sugar? I said, no, that's luxury when there is salt. He said, do I want fish? I said, no, that's luxury. Do I want granite? That's luxury. Because with Gary, we were very creative. If we take Gary for 3 days, the 4th day, we won't need to put it into water. We'll put dry Gary inside fry pan, put pepper, onion, salt, and fry it with a little oil. So we did a lot with Gary because when you are in problem, creativity should be able to flow and you should be able to think of the next way out. And the woman looked at me and said, where is money? I said, I will pay you when my parents return. The woman looked at me and said to me, he said, am I responsible for your father's misfortune? That was the greatest insult, and it's still the greatest insult I've received in my life. But I can tell that that was the turning point of my life. It entered into my subconscious, did something to me mentally. I knew that is either I succeed or I succeed. I don't have a plan B. It's either I make it or I make it. There's no plan B because, I said that to myself. I walked away. As I was walking away, I was crying. The woman called me and said, oh, he knows that I may die if I don't eat. I should come and take the Gary. Truthfully, I went back and I took the Gary because that's the only way I could survive. So my anger did not touch the food part. So I took the Gary, I went back, I drank it. We paid the money. I will still talk about the family and what has happened even between myself and the family in the present time. Then one day when we got back home from that place, we didn't have what to sell again and all of that. We remembered that we used to buy every grain in bags. Rice was in bags, beans in bags. It was when things got bad that I knew that they could buy things in half bag. Then I knew that they could buy grains in paint buckets. It was poverty that made me know that they could buy things in Derica. After Derica, I saw that there's half Derica. After half Derica, I saw that there's milk cup. After milk cup, I saw the thin tomato flat one. And I know the one that they will use their hand to just rub it and throw it at it. Then we went back to the store. We picked up all the bags that we had used. One of the bags had some remnant of Gary of many years. We brought it up, filtered it, we drank it. But the bags were very useful to us. So we would trek from our house in Surulere. We would trek to a firewood company in a Butte Meta called Kanu Street. We would go and buy firewood there with those bags. So those bags were very good. So we bought the bags, we'll trek down, we'll put it on our head, we'll trek back to our Surulere house. We will lay the wood in force and tie it together, and we will sell it. Then one day, our father was able to get somebody who could give us kiosk. I don't know if people remember when the Amstel Malta kiosk came out. We were privileged one, and they warned us that we should only sell Amstel Malta inside that kiosk. We did not respond to them. We said yes, and we took the kiosk. We sold Coca-Cola, Fanta, Tandy, every kind of drink existing inside that place. Not only that, we sold buns, we sold buff pop, we sold chin-chin inside that same place. That was not enough. Somebody comes to sleep in that place overnight and pays us monthly. So he will sleep there by 10 p.m. He will wake up at 5 a.m. and go away. So it was also a source of accommodation, and it was giving us income also because things were very bad and we were 6 children. One day there was a woman that met me and said I should come and see her. And honestly, that's one of the women that I'm looking for in my life. I've not been able to locate the family, but there's a favor in my heart that I must do for anybody who comes from that family. The woman said that I can give you eggs to start selling. So I went to meet the woman. She was gracious. She started giving me crates of eggs to sell. And the first day I took 1 crate of egg, I went to the people selling food across the street, and nobody was going to buy from me. And I had to cry back and I said, what can I do? Then I picked up another crate. I told one woman, I said, don't pay me. I'll give you on Monday, you pay me on Friday. The woman said, well, that's a good deal, that the customer always takes money. I said, that is good. I moved from 1 crate to 5 crates, from 5 crates to 10 crates, from 10 crates to 20 crates. That's how we were surviving. And I will go tell. And it's so interesting that some of the people are still owing me money till now. In case you are online, or you are from family, I can never forget, because in Yoruba they say anybody that pulls may never remember, but the person that packs it will never ever forget in his life. Mom, I have sold, I know the time is gone. I was a pepper grinder. I grinded pepper. What did I not do? Car wash, all kinds of things for us to be able to go through life. At a point, you even have to be like a housemaid at some point, just to be and to ensure that these people can also help you with some things around school and all of that. So it's interesting because it was growing up was a very difficult time. We were helpless. We were exposed to a lot of danger. Many times we slept over in the Ijora Bridge because we had to sell. No transport to return, so you are coming back the next morning. You had to be there and sleep over. In the midst of this, you met a lot of bad friends. You see a lot of bad activities going on. Life was very exposing. Everything was hard. There was nothing that was soft. In fact, I looked at my life one day and I said to myself, that is it not even better, to even commit suicide? Because how come there's nothing, not one thing that I could point out that was easy for me? I remember when I needed to write JAMB, I wrote JAMB 6 times. First time, second time, third time, fourth time, the 6th time they had to seize it. And I understood why they had to seize it, because I was wondering, why would they keep allowing you do that? One day I was so depressed that I was thinking of myself in a very bad light, that I said to somebody that, because JAM used to have brochures, not that it's digitized, used to have brochure. There's one boy in the first page, Tukuma something. He had used his name to teach people how to fill the form. I said to myself that one day, with this my level of failure, it will be me that they will be using to teach people how to fill their form. There was nothing that was easy for one day. It was hard, and life was very hard all through for many years. That's a little summary of that I have, which I went through a few years ago, man.
What? Jesus. I've never had this kind of a story in my life. What? What? Akin, is this a movie? What?
I had to put this in a book. Jesus. I wrote it. That's why I wrote the book From Street to Forbes. That was what was in that book. That was the meaning of that book, because Brian Tracy told, in fact, he was on my neck and he said to me that I must publish and write about it. He said, I must publish and write about it. He wrote a foreword for it. From the street, I literally lived on the street. Literally. Myself and my sibling.
What a mighty God. What a mighty God. I had to wipe my tears, Oh, no. Wow. I'm just speechless. I don't even know what to say. So, how did you get here? How? Because you just told me about 1990. How did you get here? Please tell us.
Okay. It's always emotional every time I remember the story and anytime I share.
Jesus.
In fact, I forgot to mention that every business I did, none worked. There was a time I even got money of 20 investors, and all the monies went down. There was nothing, and everything under uniform was looking for me, including Boy Scout. It was a very terrible time for me. Very terrible time for me. Even when it had to be a lot of community money to go to school, and I will say this, that I will come to the place, I'm going to talk about God, but let me talk about a few things first that I think that people can learn from. People can learn. one day, one of the things I'm privileged to do is that I lecture for a university in Europe. I teach MBA students. So one day I was teaching a class in corporate finance. And this Asian lady asked me, he said, "You are teaching debt management so good." He said, "Where did you school? Did you go to Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Pennsylvania?" And mentioned the 5 Ivy League schools. I laughed. I laughed. Like Mommy Funke would say, "Who dashed monkey banana?"
Oh
I laughed.
God.
You didn't even mention community school or Baptist school or somewhere in that place. I said, no. I said that what I taught you today, I used to be indebted for many years. And so I was teaching you debt management practically and not theoretically. And that will lead me to the first point, that whatever is happening to you today, so it's not a mistake, because it is, you will see that it's a raw material for the exact destiny that God has planned for you. So don't cry over the process. Don't eat the process. Don't run away from the process. There's a book I wrote called Stay in Your Process. Stay there. Because whatever you are doing at a smaller dimension, you will still, that's what you're going to do at a larger dimension. I believe that what people are doing today that looks very amplified, if they check well, they have done something similar to that at a very smaller level. What happens is that God just comes to amplify the faithfulness in the small things that you have done. Number 2 is the power of vision. The power of vision helped me. I remember that I will get newspapers and I will post it around my room. The things that look like my future. There was no access to internet, so I would just paste those things. I wanted to have a good picture. Though my outward man is perishing, I wanted my inner man to be renewed day by day. So in the midst of the suffering, my heart was being renewed. I was seeing something different. I know that one day, this is not how the story will end. The story will change. But the extra, it didn't look like it. My first bank account, they gave us a passbook. It looked like a check. It was at Agai Community Bank. I will write in that passbook, I will write, "Pay Akinpelu 1,000 naira." It was a vision check, and I will paste it. One day I made the 1,000. It was a vision that one day pay Akinpelu 10,000 naira. I wrote it for 15, for 20,000, for 30,000, for, so vision where I was going to was very important. So, and it was difficult because it was conflicting. What you are experiencing is different from what is on the inside. But I can tell you something, that if what's in the inside is positive, what is on the external will soon catch up with it. Vision is the mental picture of the future. You cannot arrive at a future that you did not prepare for. You cannot arrive at a future that you did not prepare for. You cannot harvest a future that you did not plant. So vision is a very powerful thing that was helping my mind. I was exposing myself to a lot of books. I was exposing myself to a lot of tapes. I used to buy lots of tapes. Up till now, I think I have about 700 tapes that I still count, minus CDs, because I just exposed my mind to listen and just to tell myself, no, that this thing can change. It can change, so, and that helped me. Another thing that helped me is the power of skill. And what I said about vision before I spoke about skill is this. It's so powerful that the things that I wrote down in those times, many of them, God has started doing it, and there are still more, and he has even done more in some areas that I not even see, that I was myopic enough. Because it is unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above what you can ask or think. So what you can think is the basis with which God can do exceedingly. So if you cannot even think of anything at all, and there's nothing God can do exceeding above what you have put as a platform there. One day I woke up, when I got a letter from Forbes, and they said to me that they've heard about me, they've read about me, and they want, I thought it was a lie. I left the email 2 months because I said, me, Forbes, what do I have? Who am I? And they now called and called to prove to me. Then they showed up in Nigeria, one of their African trips. And I knew that this was real. And they said that you needed to have so. I said, I don't have that kind of money. They said a man signed for you. And this man said that forget it. What is inside this man is bigger than what you are asking for. So
My God.
his own negative collateral down and said that put him on this platform. That was how I woke up one day. I found myself there. It was a vision. It was a vision that one day I would be able to have a BSc. And I look at God today. God has given me a BSc. God has given me 2 masters. He gave me from the UK, gave me an MBA, number 2. God has given me 2 doctorates, the same one that cannot even go to school at all. I had my first PhD. I got in education leadership. I got my second doctorate in strategic leadership. And I'm going to be a professor of practice by next year, June, by the grace of God. So vision is powerful. It's powerful. And I'm still dreaming because I've not even scratched what God has for me. So I still dream. I still write. I still envisage. So another thing I'll talk about is the power of skill. Talent is never enough. Skill is very powerful. You see, talent is passive. Skill is dynamic. And this is what I'm trying to say. When I was growing up, I used to listen to some powerful comedians. So I used to listen to men like Zebediah. I listened to men like Giringori. I listened to men like Aluwe. These men were really funny people. There was one movie they did called Lagos Nawa. Very powerful movie. You will laugh. But these people are poor with their talent. Not many of them did so well, but they had the substance, they had the gift, they had the talent, but it was passive. When you sharpen a talent, it becomes a skill. And do all you can to sharpen your talent. Mama has leading women meetings, stretch meetings, all those things. Don't go for free things. Pay for it. The real deal are the things that you pay for. Sharpen your skill, because let me tell you, the money you are investing into sharpening your skill is still going to come back in a very heavy way. It's because it's an investment. It's going to come back in an heavy way. If I look at the comedians that we have today, you cannot compare them in terms of influence and resources with the other people who were the people that opened up that dimension of industry for them. So if you look at people like AY, Sheyi Law, and all of these guys, and one of them told me one day, he said to me that, I said, how much do you guys make in this hotel stuff that you do? He said, when we have bad business and we didn't make money at all, at least in that 2 hours, I will make 10 million for myself after paying off every other thing. I said, you mean you pay people to insult them? He said, that is the power of skill. You see all these men I mentioned, some know them, but you won't hear their name. You see the younger people, Sako and the rest of them, you see how God is leading and help, and because they invested in skill. So please invest in skill. I slaved to get skill. When I was going to do my master's, I didn't have money. I told the company I was paying for that they should give me 2 people's jobs and they should give me my salary for 1 year ahead so that I can do my master's. I was slaving on the job. That was how I paid even for and many people didn't even know this, because people would see me outside and they would have thought that things were so good. And because of charisma, and I would not subject myself to look like my problem, and people never had an idea of what happened. So it is very important. Another one I will show, which I consider very powerful, is the power of relationships. You see, God hides things in relationships. The answers to prayers are in relationships. We are very, very religious in Africa that we would like to pray for many hours, and I love to pray. But when you come out of prayer, The answers are hidden in relationships. If you use bad character after prayers, you have nullified your investment in spiritual things. Relationships are so powerful, that God uses relationship to compensate us for the things that we do not have. How can you go through life? You want to start a business. There's nobody in your life that can do graphics for you. There's nobody in your life who can volunteer to do this for you, do that for you. And you say you are alone. No, you shouldn't be. Keep relationships. You see, and relationships are in 3 levels. They are potentials. There are relationships that these people cannot do anything for you yet, but keep the relationship. Now, there are relationships that are strong in performance, that you know that these ones have something to do for you. I invest very powerfully in relationships. And I will share this now. One day, I was going to do something for in Umuahia. So there was no airport in Umuahia. So I went through Samubakwe Airport in Owerri. And I used the only money I used in my life to fly. And the reason I wanted to fly was because I wanted to change my energy level. The energy level when trekking is different from the energy level when driving. The energy level is different from the energy level when flying. And even when flying, there are different kinds of energy level. I asked people a question one day: have you ever seen a magazine where they are selling private jets before? Every time I ask the question, people tell me no. And what I say is, where you are determines who sees you, and what follows you. So I used all that I had. I flew that day. There was a man seated next to me. He was an average in. I'm taller than him, but by the time I'm done with this story, you see that the man is far taller than I am. And I have that when I meet you, I must relate with you. I will open my mouth. I will greet you. I will honor you. Because that is voice actuation is the secret to activating relationship. Sometimes people say that they are very passive introverted. I am also very introverted. People don't know it. It is when I have to come out to speak that I look like I am extroverted. The moment I am done, I am back to myself as a person. So I had to build it. So I said good morning to this man, and the man looked at me, good morning. And I said, oh, this is me, this is what I do. I mean, I can't even imagine what I do with my life at that time. I probably would have been blabbing. And the man just picked up his newspaper and continued to read. I was so angry, I was furious. Because every time, I didn't come to the aircraft to take juice and to take toast bread. I came to connect because I know God hides things in relationship. So I am so favor conscious. I'm a favor freak that every time I step out of my house, I know that God has hid something in the people that I will meet. And so I do all I can to ensure that I honor and I keep the relationship that I meet. Many of them, they may not have what to do for me in the now, but in the future, I've seen it play over and over again. And, and one day somebody said, I was saying to him that what God cannot do does not exist. He said, he said, Pastor Akin, who Pastor Akin does not know, does not exist. You know why? Because I am blessed with the gift of relationships. It was the end of the flight, and I was angry. And the man said, oh, sorry, I know you wanted to talk to me, but I'm busy. I said, no problem, sir. So I started the conversation again, and it was 2 minutes to go. But they ended up the aircraft had to land, so we had to come down. When he was coming, I said, can I help you carry your briefcase? And the man was shocked. I said, I just want to. So I helped him, and I carried his briefcase for him. As I came down the aircraft, I saw 4 police officers walk towards me. And that was the point in my life that I was owing people money. I was owing about 150 million naira, which was people's investment. They put money together into mutual funds, and I was helping them run the investment. And they came together. I said, no, I'm gone. Is this where God will now allow this to happen? Why not in my house? Why before this important man? In 1 minute, I don't know if it happens to people. In 1 minute, you will write the script of your life, you will act it, you will direct it, then you will finish it and produce it. In 1 minute, I knew that I was gone. Then suddenly 4 officers walked towards me. I was shrinking inside my so-called suit. Then they saluted me. When they saluted me, it was like they poured cold water on me. I said, my God, these people didn't come to arrest me. Then I got my composure back a little bit, and I started smiling. You know, and it dawned on me that I was being stupid, that it wasn't me that they were saluting. That who am I that a police officer will be saluting? It dawned on me that it was the man that was standing beside me that they were saluting.
God.
So then they came, took the bag from me, and they followed the man. As the man was going, he put his hand in his pocket, gave me his contact card, and I walked towards my luggage. I wanted to check what it looked like. When I opened the map, the name I saw on that place was a man called Barrister Yemi Osibajo. This was when at best he was just becoming an attorney general. So he was not known like that. So
My God.
His PA that day is a man called Tunde Irukere or Irukere. So
Jesus.
I went to see the office one day. I became friends with the PA. One day the PA told me, he said, Oga likes you, stop calling me, just go straight. I said, no, the same honor I give Oga, the same honor I will give you. This man, so he was a potential. This man became an attorney general. This man became vice president of a country. This man became the president that Nigeria never had. So it means that he had capacity to have become a president potentially. What prayer would I have prayed in my life that God, as I'm going out, bring a president my way, as I'm going out, bring a president my way, God wraps it up in relationship. That PA of that day became the DG of Consumer Protection, and his name came out as a minister nomination list. To tell you the power of potential in relationships, and people must know that God hides things in relationship, and we must honor it. We must decode it to the extent that when you are going out every day, prepare a gift in your bag, because you can't tell. Every time I'm flying, I have a gift in my bag. If I meet a man, I will relate with the man. By the time I'm done, I will write the name of his wife, not him. I will not give him a gift. I will write the name of his wife, I will give him. He will say, but you don't know my wife. I said, I have known you today, but please give your wife this for me. Do you know, that the wife is forced to call me that same night? And many of them will tell me that many times people don't send gift to them through their husband, and they really appreciate it. When the husband gets busy and does not pick my call, there's somebody in the house that mentions my name.
My God.
Was not in my call, it was because of my relationship with Sister Dolapo that I could still get the new number of His Excellency at that time. God hides things in relationship. Your journey will be so long if you don't honor relationships that God brings your way. I have met somebody in the morning, the aircraft in the morning, and by that evening, I'm already in the office of the person signing a contract with the person. Because I understand the skill of networking, connecting with people, and keeping relationships. Don't look for people in the days you have trouble. Don't look for them in the days where you have a need. Can we just be human beings and just honor people that God brings our way? And I will say that the God factor is the most powerful thing that happened to me, because all of these things would not have made sense if there was no God factor around it. I think I will stop there so that Mama can talk.
Jesus. What am I hearing tonight? What? You're a powerhouse, Dr. Akin. Are you reading the comments? Can you hear? Can you see what people are saying? I've never had this in my life. Woo! Yes, so wahoo. Thank you, guys. Please write the comments. This is fire. What a blessing. What a blessing. What a blessing. Yes, mind blowing. Oh my God. And people are asking me, am I saving? You know, I will save this video. You know now, and it will be on my YouTube for life. Wow. So we need to listen again. Oh my God. The Lord will preserve you. What? You see that I don't even know what to say. What? Too much wisdom in this video. Too much. Go on. You still have maybe like 12 minutes or so.
Oh,
Please
thank
go
you.
on. I told you. Yes. Please go on.
One day I was
What?
going to get a contract from a bank because I call myself a cosmopolitan believer. So I believe in God, and I believe so much in national transformation. So many people see me and they feel like, oh, you're into a lot of things. So I pastor a church, and I am very, very active in the development space, and nation building is a passion for me. I mean, Africa is a passion in my heart. So one day I was going to get a job from a company. So it was a bank, and they said they were not going to give us that job. And I just told the people, the staff, that I said, just trust me for one thing. All I need from you is tell me the birthday of this person. So they told me her birthday of the HR manager, and they gave me a birthday in the head office. So I said, what does she like? They said, oh, there's this shoe that she has been talking about, but she has not bought. The name of the shoe. I don't even know the name of the shoe. So I on the birthday, to cut the long story short, I bought the shoe and I added a bag. I hope someone is going to get wisdom. I added the bag of the shoe to it and I put it there. I sent it to her and I just wrote happy birthday with my phone number on it. So I said, put the gift in a strategic place. So when she came in, she saw cakes, she saw all kinds of things. She left the cakes and left the other gifts. She went straight to the transparent nylon that had the bags and the shoes. And this one is saying, wow, this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted. What is this? What is this? What is this? So after that, she now asked herself that, who is the person that brought this gift? Then I said, oh, they just pretend. They said, oh, let's check. Then I said, oh, remember that man that wanted to get a contract here, but we didn't give him anyway? He's the one that sent it. The man said, why? Why will he have to send me a gift? So the woman picked her phone, dialed my number. You can see that by herself. She dialed my number. The power of keeping relationship and gift. She called me. So that means I have a number from that day. I said, I heard you sent me a gift. I said, happy birthday. She said, why did you send me a gift? I said, do you like the gift? She said, that's not the question. She said, why did you send? I said, ma'am, I said, do you love it? She said, do you think because of a gift I will give you this contract? I said, I never wrote there, give me a contract. All I am asking is, do you like this gift? Do you want to say, well, I like it. I said, that's all I need to know. You don't need to give me any contract. Happy birthday. Don't spoil your day. Have a great day, ma. And we cut the call. 2 weeks after, I was called to pick that job, and I did it for 12 branches of the bank in 4 geopolitical zones. So relationships are powerful. Relationships are great, and people must understand how to be able to work out that. Then let me also talk about the power of exposure. No matter what, please expose your mind. See, a lot can be happening to you physically, but you will do yourself a lot of disfavor if your mind is also shut. You need to be cosmopolitan, which is seeing the world from a wider scope, from a wider view. God exposing your mind. You see, God was going to speak to Abraham one day and said to him, come, look at the sun. Can you count the stars? He was exposing his mind to what is bigger than him. He tells him, look at the sand. Can you count the sun? He said he can't count it. God wanted to expose his mind. So if you read Isaiah 54, where the Bible says, sing, O ye barren. So the woman starts as a barren woman. He said, and so you that has not given birth, he said, break forth into singing. Very, very paradoxical. How can a barren woman break forth into singing? But he shared the miracle that can happen from there. He said, number one, he said that lengthen your cords, strengthen your sticks. He said, open the curtain of your habitation. You see, what you have is a window. What every man has in his house is window. But the scripture says, let them open the curtain of your habitation. It means that you will not be able to open it yourself, but God will send people into your life that will open that curtain for you. And relationship is still on relationship. They come into your life, they open the curtain. So tonight now, you are hearing me because Mama decided to give a small me an opportunity to speak to you, which is a that I have been privileged to have for close to about 15 to 20 years. You see how it works, that you may never have heard me if God did not help me to have a relationship with Mama. You see that now? So it is very powerful that you open up your mind, expose your mind within the framework of the fear of God. Open up your mind to things. When things are, say, never think that you can't achieve a thing. Sometimes you go close to it. What if I fail? What if I don't fail? There are many things I have done in my life, and I have done it in fear, not because I was confident. So we call that principle, do it afraid. Because if you ask people what they are doing in their lives, they will not tell you they were so confident when they started it. They had the butterflies there. But in spite of that, they still decided to do it. So I think that it is powerful, that exposure is something very powerful that you will need in your life. I just wanted to mention that, and I'll stop there. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. God bless you and bless you and bless you and bless you. Please, can you say something about marriage and money before we close? You're married. How did you meet your wife? And then number 3, have you ever made a mistake before? I think I picked 1 or 2 mistakes. And how did you get right?
Okay.
Then one more question.
I would say marriage. Marriage is an interesting institution. If I am to say a few things that I've learned in marriage, I believe that marriage is a vacuum. The two individuals are the ones that will pour themselves into it. So marriage is a vacuum. So we will make out of it whatever we pour into it. So, and we may come from different places, different ideologies, but whatever we bring out of the marriage is what we have poured into it. So if it is not working, it means that we are actually not pouring the right things and we are not working it out. So, I mean, I will not tell you that I've never made a mistake in marriage. I'm perfect and all of that. No, I made mistakes and I am getting better at it. There are times that, I mean, that's why Mama is here. Mama will call us, she would mentor us, talk to us. We take new information, we get better at it, but we've not stopped working it out. So I believe that marriage is a vacuum, and whatever you bring out of it is what you poured into it. So I believe that there's a lot that needs to be done with the individual. It's called self-leadership, that you have to do a lot on yourself so that it can show when it comes as a collective effort in what is called marriage. So I think I would like to say that about marriage. Then money is powerful. Money, I would say that money is as a result of the values that you can give. The value that you can give. The value that you can give. So, money is a great motivator. Money is something that drives us. But I always tell people that God, you see, money is everywhere. So, for example, you can find money in people if you are strategic enough. So let me give you an example. When Michael Jackson was going to die, he was going to do his last, I almost said crusade, his last show. And it was during the recession. And he said people should pay $70 or 70 pounds rather. And about 100,000 people bought the ticket in 1 hour. At the time they were going to close the sale, it was Guinness Book of Record. That's the biggest sale that they had in 1 week, almost reaching up to 1 million. You know, an interesting thing, and that was during recession. And he died. He couldn't perform that show at the O2 Arena. You know, and Kenny Ortega's manager came telling people, sorry, we want to return back the money. And they said, no, we love Michael Jackson too much. Let's use the money. If you look at 70 pounds and 1 million people, that is 70 million pounds. You cannot tell me that there's no money in people. If you build yourself, money can come out from you. There are monies in places, there are monies in circumstances. You see that? So money is a powerful thing, but at the end of the day, never bring yourself under the control of money. The usefulness of money is when you can have control over it and you can use it to bless humanity. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. I wish you were reading all these comments. People are saying, what kind of wisdom is this? God downloaded this. Who is he? Where is he from? What's the title of his book? People are saying, oh, we just went to follow you now, on your page. Please go and follow him at I am Akinpelu. I think that's your Instagram handle. I don't know the others.
Yes, ma'am.
No?
Yeah, very correct.
Okay, and then somebody just said now that we need to bring you back. That's how my tribe. And you can tell this tribe is from different parts of the world. Cameroon, Japan, I keep asking them to tell me where they're joining us from. So definitely, Dr. Akin, we're bringing you back. By God's grace in 2025. You see, wisdom by raw experience. What? God just used to blow our minds tonight. And people are loving on you, loving on you, loving on you. And we are so, so grateful. Before I invited you, before you joined, somebody asked a question about forgiveness. You want to just share your thoughts on that too? Forgiveness.
I think I overheard that when I was joining it.
Okay.
You're talking about forgiveness. I think forgiveness is a very, very powerful phenomenon. And the reason why I think it's powerful is because in self-leadership, we always say that don't give people power over you. Don't outsource your power. Don't give people control. So when things are not working well, always think of it from the perspective of me first. What is my path in this? And how did I open up the door for this person to hurt me this way? Then I prefer that you begin to work on yourself. You see, if you understand the power of being healthy emotionally, you will find out that it is a lot of load in your memory space to accommodate the hurts of people in our lives. At the end of the day, we will feel hurt the more than the person. Some of these people will walk out and they will be free. Some of them will tell you they have accepted Jesus Christ and they are walking free, some due to carelessness, some due to genuine repentance, and some of them are even wondering, so you mean you are still here, have moved on? So you will find out that you sell your control, you sell your power by putting, and because people enjoy what they call emotional jail. We romance and enjoy the fact that we can put people into emotional jail and we are in control of that jail. And you want to be the one to determine the day you are going to release the person from the jail. And please, I want to say this, I am not being insensitive. Our hearts are real and these things are real. It's very, very easy. So for me, I say the steps to forgiveness are, number one, you will first need to find a way to forgive yourself on that matter. Number two, I always tell people, try and pray for the person. You see, it's not easy to pray for people that hurt you, but I'm not saying go back and talk to the person. First, pray for the person. The day you genuinely pray for the person and you lose your emotional grip over that jail, tears will come out of your eyes. You see that tears coming out of your eyes is called detachment rain. You are actually detaching from that thing. Then after that time, practice forgiveness. When I say practice forgiveness, every time the thought of the person comes to you, it's coming negative, change it to positive. It's coming negative, change it to positive. Some of them you may meet in your life again, some you may never have to meet for closure. But the idea is this: you deserve to live life healthy in your emotions. At least do it for yourself. Thank you.
My God. My guest tonight is a first-class person. All of you know that this is a first-class person. We are so, so, so grateful. Yes, thank you. Love on him, everybody. You see them, Australia, Denmark, Canada. You see, this global tribe. Oh, my God. Oh, I need to release him. Somebody say, speak about money. Okay, yeah. He's spoken about it. Wow. Whew. I don't want your wife to sue me. So let me Let me wrap up.
He's online.
What a blessing.
Online, watch it.
Oh my God, what a blessing. From the first word, from your story, that story. Akin, as close as we are, you've never told me that story. What? My God. And still, we are going. You see, they are still writing. But where are you? They are telling me where they are joining from. Bahamas, okay. Look at that. It's a global family. The Lord bless you. I'm so, so, so grateful for this. You're going to get our, invitation again next year by the grace of God. He cannot speak to everything tonight, please. He is coming back. Don't worry. What a blessing. God bless you, Dr. Akin. Thank you. Thank you. So I know that you are a coach. I know you mentor people in a structured manner. Can you please give the details so that people that want to contact you, and then where we can get your book, where people are already asking how we can get your book, what you do. I've put your handle, but tell us the contacts, please.
Okay, thank you very, very much. I must sincerely appreciate you, man, for this global platform. I'm grateful. I'm forever grateful. Please, everybody, turn off the energy from me and help me thank Mama. I mean,
We are the grateful one. You
turn
see,
off,
Cyprus, Akwa Ibom, oh my
no,
God, South
you
Africa.
know,
You guys are not sleeping. You're not chilling at all. Oh,
please turn it off.
thank you, Doctor.
I do a lot of things. Like I said, I pastor a church. I've invested so much into education. I've spent about 15 years working in
Tell us the name
education.
of your church
Okay.
and where it is.
The name of the church is Eden Center. So if you check at Eden,
Eden.
yeah. If you get to my bio, you will see the direct link that you can click to see. And yeah, if you branches here and there, that can be a blessing. I'm into education. I believe so much in the transformation that can happen through education. And I'm a management consultant. I train for organizations and C-suite leaders. Yes, I do that a lot. I coach people, and I mentor people. I have free mentorship platforms and I have paid mentorship platforms. You can be part of it, but honestly, if you want to get the best mentorship, go to Mama's page and get that mentorship.
Oh, Dr. Akin, no. Go to Dr. Akin's page. You can tell that this man has a lot. So please.
And I've written a couple of books that I believe could be a blessing to us. I wrote a book called Stay in Your Process that says, don't look at where you are, but look at where you are going to. There's one called Straight to Forbes, like I spoke about. There's one called The Now of the Spirit called Dominion. I've written one called The 7-Star Teacher for those in learning and development, research space, education, pastoring. There's one called The 7-Star Student. There's one that I consider my bestseller. My bestseller is called Networking Your Way to the Top. A very powerful book. How I have served 3 presidents and I'm an advisor to 16 governors and several mayors across the world. I shared a lot of things there that can help you. I have one called Come Into the Room. I believe that Christians we need to begin to come into the power room where decisions are being taken and where we can count. There are power rooms that people run away from, and the Bible says that we must grow together, not that you will run away from them. Let the weed and the wheat grow together. There's going to be a day that there's going to be a separation. So engagement, we need contact without contamination. So I spoke about the different models, Babylonian model, Egyptian system that you need to watch out for in those materials and others. If you're on LinkedIn, you will get my newsletter almost every day on performance management. It will bless you real good. So if you want to get my materials, you can check Books by Akin. You can look at Books by Akin on Instagram, but you can simply just send a WhatsApp to our office. My office is in a retreat now, so we have all shut down for the year, but I can drop the number that we can all look at, and it will help us. I will write it on the screen, You can ask every detail that you need from there. So, yeah.
And your website is Akinpelu.org.
Yes, my website is www.diakiakipelu.org. These, THEDiakiakipelu.org. I think that's going to help us really strongly also.
Okay.
So the
And
WhatsApp.
then his Instagram page, his Instagram handle at I am Akinpelu. I pinned this since, okay, there's a number.
Yeah.
I can also pin that for a few, since we're wrapping up now. Fantastic. What a night. I'm so thankful again. Grateful to God and thankful to you, Dr. Akin, for being my guest tonight. The Lord bless you.
Amen.
What's your parting word as we wrap it up?
So I would say this, that in life, run through the rain, run through the fire. If God can get you out of where you are, it will not take him any minute further to do it. But if he keeps you in the fire and in the rain, maybe you needed some washing. So my final word is this: stay in your process and keep evolving till the day comes. Thank you.
Fantastic. Stay in the process and keep evolving. God bless you. He lives in Nigeria. So this 0706 589 5185. You need to put +234. He lives in Nigeria. Thank you so very much once again. And thank you, everybody. My global family, appreciate you. Next week, Tuesday, by God's grace, I'll have another guest. I'm wishing you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. 2025 is a blessing. So get ready. And I look forward to hosting those of you that are leading ladies in the states of Ondo, Akure City, January 16th and 17th. You need to go register. Just go on my website and you will find the details. Next week, Tuesday. God bless you all. Thank you again, Dr. Akin. Please give my greetings to your wife and children.
Thank you, Mom. I'm grateful, Mom. Bye.